I am Liam Harrison from Bad Company Gym in Leeds. I've had 118 professional fights, 91 wins, 2 draw, 25 loss, and 51 by knockout. My cousin Andy, who's also a former world champion, he brought me down here, and I'm only about 13, and I just fell in love with it straight away. At the time, I'd never seen anything like it. It wasn't very popular at all, but as soon as I came in here and started training, and I walked through the gym doors for the first time, saw some of the fighters kicking the pads, and I got that liniment smell that still sticks around in the gym today. And it was just unbelievable, and it was the first time I sparred after about 2-3 weeks in. The first time I sparred, that's when I really got hooked. So yeah, it was just like love at first sight for me. My best characteristics as a fighter, I'm tough, I'm durable, and I'm very, very powerful. Everything I throw is with spite and nasty. When I was a bit younger in my career as well, I used to be very technical, but for some reason I've just decided to try and turn my fights into more wars these days. I think it's a bit more fan friendly, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy fighting like that, to be fair. No one wants to see like a boring points win. People want to see blood, guts, knockdowns, and all the drama that comes with it. But my main characteristics are probably my punch power and my strong leg kicks. If you're not resilient in any walk of life, you're gonna fall on your face. Do you know what I mean? The world will knock you down at points, and you have to be able to be resilient enough to get back up and carry on. I've always had a great team around me here at Bad Company Gym. Richard, obviously Andy, and then coming up through the ranks we had me, Richard, Cadden, Jordan Watson, James France, Davey Mack, Andy Howson, all world champions all at the same time, all training together, all under one roof. I've had a great team around me here, and then obviously I trained a lot in Thailand. I've always had great trainers around me over there who always looked out for me. So yeah, it's just the team that I've always had around me. It's turned me into the fighter, the man that I am today. I'm injured at the minute, so my next goal is to just get my rehab done, get myself back in fighting shape. And obviously I fought Nongo for the One Championship title, and it just ended in a complete disaster. I'm still injured now from that, and I'm on my way to recovery from it. So I'd like to obviously come back, get myself back to the shape I was in before, the speed, the sharpness, and then push to get a shot at that title again. I think it'll only take me 2 or 3 wins to get myself back in contention, and I think I've got the mindset and the ability to get myself back in that position. It's going to be a tough road. Obviously my rehab is going to be a long one, but I'm hoping to back by the summertime that I'm starting to get back to full fitness. The surgery went well. Obviously my knee were pretty blitzed, to be fair. I needed both my meniscuses, and my ACL and my MCL were torn as well, but I think that one got left. I think the surgeon called it, that's what we call a full house. That's what he said. You've done the hat trick, the full house. But yeah, the surgery's gone well, my rehab's going well. I know people who have had the same surgery as me, and they were on crutches for 2 weeks. I was off my crutches after 4 days. I'm already be able to walk around unaided, with no limp and stuff like that. So I'm in a good place, and I don't want to rush it. I'm gonna take my time, make sure my body gets back to full strength before I start putting myself in a position where I can start a fight camp. I'm just going to work on my rehab, work on keeping my body strong, keeping my mind strong, because that's been the hard part at the minute, because I'm used to being so active. It's been very tough since just not being able to train properly. And I tell you what, I'm getting jealous as well. I'm fucking watching all these fighters having great fights, and I'm flicking Instagram on, and then there's Haggerty hitting the pads, and then there's Nico smashing pads, and then there's Nathan Bender smashing pads. I'm thinking, they all look great at the minute, and they're all looking like they're absolute fire, and I'm thinking, I want to get back to doing that. So I'm looking at these guys, and it's giving me inspiration to push through the rehab and to get myself back to be in that position where I can be smashing the pads again myself. So yeah, I'm looking at these guys for inspiration at the minute, and all the top ties and stuff. Every time I flip my Instagram on, I'm seeing some top level fighter smashing the pads, and I'm thinking, right, get your rehab done. But again, I'm not going to rush, but that's the goals at the minute. The surgery I've had at the minute, I've got to be careful with what I'm doing, but at the same time, for my mind, and also I don't want to let my hands I don't want to lose no speed, and I don't want to lose too much cardio. So I'm sat on a box just smashing the pads with my boxing coach Darryl, And do you know what? I'm getting quite good at it. You can get some quite powerful when you just sat down and rotating and stuff like that. And I'm actually enjoying it. It's just for my mindset as well, because if I don't get to just punch something, I will just go insane. And but yeah, it's quite fun, and I'm only doing it a couple of times a week just to keep some sort of base level of cardio. That and the ski erg, just whipping on the ski erg. I can stand up doing that now as well, so that's a little bit harder. But yeah, anything that I can do just to keep my mind in good nick, like I'm gonna do it. But yeah, like you said, I'm obsessed. There's a lot of people that'll just be sat around and they'd wait for the knee to heal before they could do pads and stuff. I'm not about that. I need to keep training, keep pushing myself, and then keep me saying that my body is as strong as possible for when it does come to the next stage and I am ready to get back into full training. I don't want to be like all fat and obese and that. I need to keep doing something to keep me in good shape, keep my mind in good shape, and just keep pushing. My first time I got stopped were against Anawat, and that was probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it made me change my mindset and everything. It made my mindset more bulletproof, that, and then I came back. If I wouldn't have lost that fight the way I did, I probably wouldn't have got the rematch at the MEN Arena in Manchester in front of all my friends, family, everyone in UK, and that was probably one of the biggest wins from a UK fighter in history, for me to beat Anawat, because at the time he was still current Rajanamnayan champion. He was feared. He'd knocked out 80% or whatever it were of his opponents and stuff like that. So if that little first loss, which was a horrible, terrible loss, didn't happen, it probably wouldn't have put me in this position that I got to have the rematch and then to beat him comfortably in front of everyone in the UK on that. That was probably the UK's biggest ever show as well. It had some ridiculous names on it. So if that wouldn't have happened, that wouldn't have happened. So everything in this journey, it all happens for a reason, I believe. Discipline. The biggest challenge for young fighters is discipline. You need to have discipline, and you need to be resilient. You need to be the first one through the gym doors and the last to leave. When all your younger friends and that, when they're all going out and partying or going out in the streets and messing around and all the rest of it, you need to step away from that and pull yourself away, which is hard when you're young, but you need to walk through these gym doors and don't have to worry about going on the park and drinking or whatever, or what kids get up to, or worrying about going to house parties, or when you get to that age, worrying about girls and going to town and all the rest of it. You need to just be resilient, you need to be disciplined, and you need to stay away from that life and just keep yourself in the gym. And you need to be obsessed. Like, they're the three key words: discipline, resilience, obsession. Your mindset needs to be bulletproof. There's no point getting into the ring with any type of doubts in there, because you'll just end up falling apart. You've probably lost before the belt's even already gone, you know what I mean? You need to be bulletproof, and you need to know that you've done 100% in training to make sure your mindset is bulletproof, because I've done it in my career. I've had that many fights where sometimes I've had to go into fights where I've not been 100%, knowing that as well, and you think you're already like doubting yourself and thinking, oh, fuck it, I wish I'd have done that. I wish I'd have done this. I wish this had happened. And it's not nice to be stood there in front of someone who you know is an absolute animal or a beast, knowing you are not 100%. Not a nice feeling. So yeah, make sure your mindset's bulletproof. Make sure your training's been done to the 100% best of your abilities. And yeah, that's all you need. My legacy, what I want to leave behind is I want to be able to inspire people. I want people to think, oh, Liam Harrison got up against Muay, I want to do that. I got so many messages after that fight about people who are not even fighters, but they just said that inspired them just to do better in life and stuff like that. So that's the type of thing you want. You want people to know when life does get hard or does knock you down, that you can inspire them to get back up and to keep pushing that little bit further and to go that extra mile. So yeah, legacy is important, but inspiration is more important to me, and that's what I want to do. I want to be able to inspire the next generation. I want to be able to inspire this generation. I want even other top level fighters to think, oh, you know what, Liam Harrison got up that time, that was great, you know what I mean? So yeah, the most exciting bit about in a fight is the actual fight itself. Nothing beats that. Nothing beats that adrenaline rush of, especially when you're getting your hand raised after. When you get your hand raised after a fight, that is a drug that nothing else on earth can compare to, and it's a drug that I'm addicted to, and I think which most fighters are addicted to, because nothing ever comes close to that adrenaline rush that you get from that. Yeah, we've got the Hitman Fight League, the big show in June. That card is going to be absolutely stacked. It's going to be massive. That's up north in Manchester, and then November we're going back down to London and we're doing a collab with CFS. Hitman Fight League versus CFS. We'll get our best fighters, get their best fighters, If we can match them together, we'll match them together, and it'll be the first time it's been done in England. Like I said, I don't want to compete against other promoters, so let's all work together. That's how everything should be with this in Muay Thai. There shouldn't be no bitterness, there shouldn't be no egos, there shouldn't be people saying, well, I don't want to work with him. There shouldn't be people saying, oh fuck it, he's putting a show on this day, I'm going to put a show on the same day, trying to compete. Why do that when we can all work together and do things like this and do big things for the fighters and big things for the sport and big things for Muay Thai in general in this country? Why does it never happen? Because people are too bitter and their egos are too out of control to ever try something like this. Do you know what I mean? I'm Hitman Fight League, me, Andy, Simon, we're not like that. We said from the start we don't want to compete with anyone. We just want to get some big high-level shows with some great fights on and get a big buzz around the fights and stuff like that. So to work with Rory at CFS as well, he's like-minded like us. You don't want to compete with anyone. We want to work together. His shows are probably the fastest rising shows in London as well. His shows now, these last couple have been massive. He's had some great main events. McGowan, Nico, all top level fighters. Michael Wakeling's back now recently. So if we can get like a rising up and coming show like that who's heading to be up there and then our new show and match them together and work together, we'll have a massive crowd. So the Mayweather thing, that were a mad one. Like I just got offered the fight and then it came out just like way out of left field. Simon Jades, he said to me, listen, Mayweather's team were interested in fighting you here, and I was like, I don't believe you. Oh yeah, I believe that when I see it. And this were a couple of weeks before the fight, and then like he messaged me. He went, right, they want to fight you. I was like, no they don't. He went, listen, they are interested in fighting you. And I was like, don't believe you. Next minute, I'm on fucking FaceTime to Mayweather's manager, and he's like, right, this is going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And I was just sat there like open mouth going, what on earth is going on here? Obviously I knew my leg were blitzed, but I thought it's only boxing. I'll be able to just get through just a camp, just hands and that. I thought there's no kicking, no twisting, should be all right. Jumped into training and stuff like that, thinking, right, here we go. And as soon as I started sparring and having to move around the ring, hitting the boxing pads were all right, but sparring and I didn't have control of where my legs were having to be then. I had to move around and my leg just ballooned up. And obviously I'd said to my surgeon, I said, am I gonna be able to get through this? It's only boxing, it's no kicking. And he said, listen, it's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but he basically said, you might cause some irreversible damage that I can't fix when I do this surgery. You might be walking with a limp for the rest of your life. You might even need a knee replacement by 40. He said, is that going to be worth it? And I was just like, no. Although it would have been unbelievable to get in there with him. I don't want to sacrifice the rest of my career and then even sacrifice having a good life when I retired. You know what I mean? I don't want to be walking around with a limp or with having a knee replacement at that age. So I just had to weigh it up and I just couldn't make it happen. Hopefully though, it can happen in the future. I mean, it got a lot of traction when it got announced. Everyone were interested in it. So hopefully, you never know, further down the line. And yeah, I'd love it to happen. He's been one of my idols forever. And just to get in there and share the ring with him, even if I couldn't fucking lay one glove on him, do you know what I mean? As long as I hit him once, I'd be happy. But yeah, it'd be a great experience and hopefully it'll happen in the future. Listen, he's the greatest boxer of this generation, but I'm not going to get in there and be like, oh no, it's Floyd Mayweather. I'd be swinging bombs all over the place, I'm telling you. I'd be swinging for the hills because I'd only want to hit him clean once and if he steals my power once, I'd win his respect. And that's all I want of him. I just want his respect after the fight. I don't want him to go out there and be timid and stuff like that. Because you do that against him, you're going to get picked apart. If you probably go in there swinging against him, you're probably going to get picked apart. But I'd rather go out on my shield, swinging all over the place, just get his respect a little bit, land a few decent shots. And but yeah, it'd just be, the whole experience would be amazing. What's next? Rehab up until the point of summer. I think I'll be back ready to start full training then. Back end of summer, I'll be ready for a fight camp. You'll see me in action 100% before the end of the year. I'll hopefully get 2 fights in. Hopefully one of them might be against Mayweather, who knows. We'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'll be back in. I'll have them 4-ounce gloves on for one championship by the back end of summer.